Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jeane Mortensen June 1, 1926, August 4, 1960, was an American actress, model, and singer. Famous for playing comic blonde bombshell characters, she became one of the most popular sex symbols of the 1950s and early 1960s and was emblematic of the era's changing attitudes towards sexuality. Although she was a top-billed actress for only a decade, her films grossed $200 million, equivalent to $2 billion in 2018 by the time of her unexpected death in 1962. More than half a century later, she continues to be a major popular culture icon. Born and raised in Los Angeles, Monroe spent most of her childhood in foster homes and an orphanage and married at the age of 16. While working in a radio plane factory in 1944 as part of the war effort, she was introduced to a photographer from the first motion picture unit and began a successful pinup modeling career. The work led to short-lived film contracts with 20th Century Fox, 1946 to 1947, and Columbia Pictures, 1948. After a series of minor film roles, she signed a new contract with Fox in 1951. Over the next 2 years, she became a popular actress and had roles in several comedies, including As Young as You Feel and Monkey Business, and in the dramas Clash by Night and Don't Bother to Knock. Monroe faced a scandal when it was revealed that she had posed for nude photos before she became a star, but the story did not tarnish her career and instead resulted in increased interest in her films. By 1953, Monroe was one of the most marketable Hollywood stars. She had leading roles in the noir film Niagara, which focused on her sex appeal, and the comedies Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and How to Marry a Millionaire, which established her star image as a dumb blonde. The same year, her images were used as the centerfold and in the cover of the first issue of the men's magazine Playboy. Although she played a significant role in the creation and the management of her public image throughout her career, she was disappointed when she was typecast and underpaid by the studio. She was briefly suspended in early 1954 for refusing a film project but returned to star in one of the biggest box office successes of her career, The 7-Year Itch, 1955. When the studio was still reluctant to change Monroe's contract, she founded a film production company in late 1954. She named it Marilyn Monroe Productions. She dedicated 1955 to building her company and began studying method acting at the Actors Studio. In late 1955, Fox awarded her a new contract, which gave her more control and a larger salary. Her subsequent roles included a critically acclaimed performance in Bus Stop, 1956, and the first independent production of MMP, The Prince and the Showgirl, 1957. Monroe won a Golden Globe for Best Actress for her work in Some Like It Hot, 1959, a critical and commercial success. Her last completed film was the drama The Misfits, 1961. Monroe's troubled private life received much attention. She struggled with substance abuse, depression, and anxiety. Her second and third marriages, to retired baseball star Joe DiMaggio and playwright Arthur Miller, were highly publicized and both ended in divorce. On August 4, 1962, she died at age 36 from an overdose of barbiturates at her home in Los Angeles. Although Monroe's death was ruled a probable suicide, several conspiracy theories have been proposed in the decades following her death. During the final months of her life, Monroe lived at 12305 Fifth Helena Drive in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles. Her housekeeper Eunice Murray was staying overnight at the home on the evening of Saturday, August 4, 1962. Murray awoke at 3 a.m. on August 5 and sensed that something was wrong. Although she saw light from under Monroe's bedroom door, she was unable to get a response and found the door locked. Murray then called Monroe's psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Greenson, who arrived at the house shortly after and broke into the bedroom through a window, finding Monroe dead in her bed. She was pronounced dead by her physician, Dr. Hyman Ingelberg, who arrived at the house at around 3:50 a.m. At 4:25 a.m., they notified the Los Angeles Police Department. Monroe died between 8:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. on August 4, and the toxicology report revealed that the cause of death was acute barbiturate poisoning. She had 8 mg per 100 ml of solution, chloral hydrate and 4.5 of pentobarbital nembutal in her blood, and 13 of pentobarbital in her liver. Empty medicine bottles were found next to her bed. The possibility that Monroe had accidentally overdosed was ruled out because the dosages found in her body were several times over the lethal limit. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office was assisted in their investigation by the Los Angeles Suicide Prevention Team, who had expert knowledge on suicide. Monroe's doctors stated that she had been prone to severe fears and frequent depressions with abrupt and unpredictable mood changes, and had overdosed several times in the past, possibly intentionally. Due to these facts and the lack of any indication of foul play, Deputy Coroner Thomas Noguchi classified her death as a probable suicide. Photo of Monroe's crypt, taken in 2005. Marilyn Monroe, 1926 to 1962 is written on a plaque. The crypt has some lipstick prints left by visitors and flowers are placed in a vase attached to it. Monroe's crypt at Westwood Memorial Park in Westwood Village. Monroe was an international star and her sudden death was front-page news in the United States and Europe. According to Lois Banner, it's said that the suicide rate in Los Angeles doubled the month after she died. The circulation rate of most newspapers expanded that month, and the Chicago Tribune reported that they had received hundreds of phone calls from members of the public who were requesting information about her death. French artist Jeane commented that her death should serve as a terrible lesson to all those whose chief occupation consists of spying on and tormenting film stars. Her former co-star Laurence Olivier deemed her the complete victim of ballyhoo and sensation, and bus stop director Joshua Logan stated that she was one of the most unappreciated people in the world. Her funeral, held at the Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery on August 8, was private and attended by only her closest associates. The service was arranged by Joe DiMaggio and her business manager Inez Melson. Hundreds of spectators crowded the streets around the cemetery. Monroe was later entombed at crypt number 24 at the Corridor of Memories. In the following decades, several conspiracy theories, including murder and accidental overdose, have been introduced to contradict suicide as the cause of Monroe's death. The speculation that Monroe had been murdered first gained mainstream attention with the publication of Norman Mailer's Marilyn, a biography in 1973, and in the following years became widespread enough for the Los Angeles County District Attorney John Vanderkamp to conduct a threshold investigation in 1982 to see whether a criminal investigation should be opened. No evidence of foul play was found.